It's Winning Plate, explaining vitamin E. What it is, do we really need it? How much do we need? Are supplements a good idea? A lot of questions here. And here's the woman with all the answers, nutrition consultant and regular PTL contributor, Leslie Bonci. I'm hoping you can answer all of those questions.
I will, and more.
Okay, good. Okay, yes. Very good.
So let's start with what is vitamin E.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the fat-soluble vitamins, meaning that the way that we absorb it is with fat. So for people who eat a diet with absolutely no fat, that's a problem because we don't absorb it well. Vitamin E is also what we call an antioxidant. So it has a role to play in terms of keeping the cells of the body healthy. So again, people get extreme with their eating, and when you cut certain things out, we don't think about the ramifications of it.
Ask you, because antioxidants is one of those words that I hear so much, but I don't really, and I know that it's good for me, but I don't really know what it means.
So what happens is that when things oxidize in the body, when they are affected by the way that they digest, and they produce these substances that might actually increase the risk of disease. We don't want them. They're called free radicals. So basically what an antioxidant is it's the body's defense mechanism. It's the cell's defense mechanism to prevent that from happening and to provide some layer of shield and protection to those cells so that they don't change in an adverse way. So we look at that from the standpoint of aging and maybe decreasing wrinkling. I don't know, I haven't found the cure to that yet.
You find
or
that, let me
heart
know.
disease, cancer, all of those types of things. They are critically important. But a lot of times people say, I'll just do a supplement for that. And with certain things, it doesn't work quite so well.
It sounds like vitamin E is one of those because you need the fat to go along with it.
Well, not only that, but there are studies that have looked at vitamin E in a supplement form that if you have too much, that actually may not be protective at all. And it seems that it may not just be the antioxidant in it, other things that are in the vitamin E, which is why we do it with food instead.
I see. Okay, so what do you suggest we eat to get that vitamin E?
So we're looking at foods that have fat in them because that's also where the vitamin E is. So one of the best ways is nuts.
Great.
Particularly sunflower seeds, almonds, peanuts, cashews. Now, not a bag. A little bit is what we're talking about, so a small handful of one of these daily exactly would be enough. Avocado, another one. Not a big avocado toast fan. I don't like it, but using the avocado, and it doesn't have to be all of this. So probably looking at 1/4 of this would be enough. But avocado we all those things. Now, people are oftentimes using coconut oil ad nauseum, and the problem with that is it really does not have a lot of vitamin E in it. So if you're looking for that impact, you use a little bit of oil, vegetable oil, corn, soybean, safflower, sunflower. That is what we're looking at.
And are we talking about heating this and cooking with it, or using it in this current form?
Either way, when you heat it, it does not destroy the vitamin E, so it is still there. Same thing true in a spread. And a lot of people love butter, and it's fine. You like butter, use butter, but realize that's not a source of vitamin E, and you're going to have to use something plant-based as an oil to get it in. And then the other way we get it, there are certain vegetables that have it. So spinach does a little bit, sweet potatoes and broccoli. However, spinach is not a source of fat. So we go 2 for 2. All right, if I do my spinach and I add a little avocado, or spinach and almonds is a lovely combination. And then you have that benefit. Or saying I'm going to take my broccoli with a little bit of oil and perhaps use a little bit of sunflower seeds with it. This is what we are looking at. The other interesting thing about vitamin E is there are some studies showing right now that it might lower the risk of pneumonia in older individuals. And that is a major cause of death. So thinking about this from a food form, what we could do a little bit a day, going no fat, I don't think so. Overloading coconut oil, no. Let's make sure we get this in our diet.
It is interesting, too, the way that you're suggesting we do this is not just having some spinach, but to mix it so that you're getting both of it and really making the most of that vitamin E.
And you get that wonderful combination. And now, there are times when people will need to take a supplement. The reality is, thank heaven, there are very few people that are E deficient. That doesn't typically happen, which is why we don't want to do that. Reach for the fridge, reach for the cupboard, not for that pill bottle.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Leslie. Always some good tips from Leslie Bonci, Healthy Living Tips. Watch her Winning Plate segments here on PTL and check out her website. You'll find that link at kdka.com/PTL.